Welcome to the Hustle Baby Podcast, where I give entrepreneurs 15 minutes to show, grow, and let the world know about their small business. Today I'm hustling with Dr. Marc Saulnier, family man and Medfield's top-to-bottom expert in chiropractic care. A Salve Regina grad, he's aligning spines and transforming lives, one adjustment at a time. Let's get crack-a-lackin'. All right, state your name and your business.
Dr. Marc Saulnier, Saulnier Family Chiropractic here in town.
Well, thank you for seeing me today.
You got it.
I didn't realize I was going to have to disrobe, but I'm all right with that.
I'll let you keep your pants on. Don't worry about it.
Thank you. It's not that kind of party. All right, so we've got a couple things we're doing today. This looks interesting.
So we're going to do, I'll run you through what a normal new patient in the office would go through.
Okay.
We do 3 diagnostic scans to see how the nerve system is functioning.
All right.
Sort of take the conversation away from just pain relief, which using chiropractic for just pain relief would be like going into a bank and just robbing the pens.
Okay.
You'd be missing out on,
But it's tough because they put them on those chains.
Yes. So 3 diagnostic scans. We do a thermal scan, which looks to see how the spinal nerve roots are behaving.
Okay.
If they get interfered with because the spine gets out of alignment or stops moving properly, the nerves will get irritated. So we look at temperature side to side to see if they're balanced.
Okay.
If they get out of balance, we know that the nerve is being irritated. And then I'll key in on that when I do the physical exam on someone.
All right.
So the beautiful thing about this is this can be done on anyone because it doesn't add anything to the body or take anything out. It's read body signals. So I'll do it on kids when they're in the office. I'll do it on expectant moms.
Yep.
So we can set a baseline and see how the body is actually functioning.
It's a little chilly.
It's a little chilly. Normally I warm it up, but I wanted to clear a room for you. So.
Woo! It tickles too.
Yeah, I tell the kids it feels like a Matchbox car being driven up their back.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah. So what we look at temperature, and I don't know that you'll be able to see this.
Yeah.
But the whites would be balanced temperature-wise. When we start to get out of balance, greens would be considered mild nerve disturbance in there.
Yep.
Blues would be moderate. Reds would be severe.
Oh, wow.
Top and bottom tend to go out together. It
Yeah.
may not show up on this. It may be more structural when I get you down on the table.
Sure.
But this lets me know I got to key in on these areas. Most people will have stuff in the neck and transition area because we're staring at devices all the time.
Yeah, sure.
It's a half day today. I saw the kids downtown, where they're waiting for the light. Oh, this next generation, I'm scared for them.
Yeah. Well, good for you, though.
Well, yeah. That's not how I want to make my bread, but when there's tension in the nerve system, then the muscle will contract and get out of balance and all that. So we'll look at that now to see how balanced are the muscle. Are you wasting a lot of energy in the postural muscle? Is there not enough tension in there? Is there too much? And then is it balanced side to side?
Okay. And this is a different device.
Yeah, so this is a surface EMG. So it looks at electromyograph, so how much tone or tension's in the muscle.
Okay.
Because everything goes together. So let me show you this one.
Yeah, what do we got?
So we look at a few things. How much overall tone is in there? I like to see that close to 100. You're a little elevated there, and I'll show you why in the neck.
Yep.
The pattern is the flow of that muscle activity. 100%, you're down at a third of what you should be.
All right.
Symmetry, side-to-side balance, you're between half and 3/4 of what it should be. So I'll show you what that looks like.
Sure.
Tension in the lower back, fatigue in this area. And we talked about that earlier.
Yeah.
The muscles can get overworked, and
Okay.
typically it's in the transition area. We should have a forward curve in our neck, a backward curve in the mid-back, forward curve in the lower spine, where it transitions in that mid-spine from postural habits. That can get fatigued out very often.
Okay.
And you get a lot of tension in the neck. And again, that coincides with the previous scan where we saw the color in the neck. This looks at asymmetry or pulling. Pulls right, then left, then right, then left. Just a tug of war going on in there.
You saying I'm a little crooked?
A little bit. And if a perfect score is 100, you're at 42. So we got
a little work to do.
We got some work to do. So the spine's main job is to give us a frame to work off of.
Yep.
Right? But it also houses and protects the nerve system.
Okay.
The reason why I work on the spine is to take pressure off the nerve system so it can function the way it's supposed to.
Okay.
Right?
That makes sense.
Yeah. So it can get out of alignment, it can get stuck, and the joints won't move as well as they should. The nerves get irritated, muscles go into tension. When the nerves get irritated, it can have an impact on function.
And that's what it can affect.
Absolutely. So different nerve roots will go to different areas of the body.
Okay.
So if we're in like this area, we can have an issue with the lung and the heart. Upper cervical is going to have an impact on the brainstem, which will control everything. Wow. A lot of people may have started to hear about vagus nerve and how important that is.
Sure, yeah.
The great wandering nerve, and that can have an impact on heart rate variability, which we're doing right now.
Yeah.
The adrenal glands down at like T8, T9 in the middle of the back, that can have an impact on the heart rate variability as well.
Huh.
So when I look at that scan and the previous scans, where are you holding tension so that I can move the joints, take pressure off the nerve. The body is going to do the healing.
Sure.
Because it's constantly trying to get back to homeostasis. It's constantly, every moment, trying to function as well as it can.
Yeah.
But it can't if we have interference in there.
Okay. Wow.
So that's why I work on the spine. Ideally, chiropractic is a lifestyle thing.
Yeah.
Like brushing your teeth every day, you get it adjusted every once in a while to keep your body functioning the way it's supposed to.
Okay. Wow.
Like me personally, I've been getting adjusted just about once a week since 1997.
Wow.
So.
And you have no gallbladder pain as a result.
No,
right?
I'm on 0 medications at 50 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm in pretty great shape.
Okay.
Because I do the little things. Like I made my website Get Healthy by Choice because it's all about the little choices we make.
Sure.
Every day. Every time we eat, we're making a choice to either fuel our body or put it into an inflammatory state and, be sicker.
That's a good point too, because I feel like everybody thinks lifestyle changes are big things.
No, they are.
You're saying little things.
Everyday little things add up over time.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that's great.
Which is why I love seeing kids, because we're getting them early and establishing good habit patterns so that they don't get broken down as adults.
Yeah. No, that's great.
I can take care of those guys, but I prefer to work with the,
totally.
I would rather see a kid grow up healthy and strong and do well at sports and all that and in school than to see a guy who's 40, 50, right? Coming in here for the first time all broken down.
All right. Well, I'll give you something to work with anyway.
All right. So you are where I typically see guys.
Okay.
Upper left quadrant. So you're out of so perfect balance would be along the midline.
Yep.
As we get left of that, that's into sympathetic overdrive.
Interesting.
So the body's in fight or flight. Just sitting here with nothing going on, having a casual conversation, your body's in a ramped up state.
Oh.
Or it shouldn't be, right?
Okay.
It should be balanced. It should be equally between the two. Your body's operating in a sympathetic overdrive. Because of that, you're starting to kind of lose fuel in the tank. So if a full tank of gas is 100, you're at 78. So you're just above 3/4 of a tank of gas.
Okay.
Because the body's kind of constantly on alert. So full balance, perfect balance is 100, you're at 52. So you're like getting way out of balance. So your overall score on that is 69. If we look at your overall score, you're at 61, so considered challenged. Right? So you are challenged.
I am challenged.
Right? So you had a 69 on the heart rate variability, a 42 on the muscle scan, and a 74 on the thermal scan.
Okay.
All right. So the next thing we would do is look at you structurally and see what's going on.
Okay.
So we can take a break. You can get dressed.
Sounds
I'll
good.
be right back in.
Okay.
Now, let's see. I'm going to see how strong your legs are. I'm going to try to push in.
Yeah.
I want you to hold out here, okay? So hold out. Good. Same thing on this side. Hold out for me. No, I want you to hold out. Evan, can you hold out? All right. So the reason why you can't is there's a bone over here that's gotten out of position.
Okay.
It's called a cuboid. And if we look at your foot, you're a bit of a supinator, so you are putting pressure on that lateral side.
Okay.
When that's out, proprioceptive input, the nervous system is just not getting. Proprioception is just a big word for where is that joint in space.
Okay.
If it's not getting the proper input, it can't send the proper output. So you had no problem holding out on my strong arm.
Yeah.
You just couldn't do it on this one because it's out of position.
Huh.
So that happens with any joint. So you can imagine where we saw that pressure in the upper spine.
Sure.
On the thermal scan, that has an impact on your brainstem and can have global effects throughout the body.
Wow, that's wild.
So that's why we take it away from just pain to function.
Yeah.
How is the body functioning? That's why I love the scans. So I can see in the moment, your first visit, and then track you through time to see how the body's adapting. So we're going to adjust this foot.
Ah!
Now,
great.
the moment of truth. Hold out for me. And I can use way more strength.
Wow.
And you have no problem holding out.
That's wild.
Yeah. So that happens throughout the body.
Okay. Wow.
Now I want to see one thing. Hands overhead. Fingers straight. Okay, good. So hip flexors are fine. A lot of times they'll shorten and tighten to offset what's going on in here.
Okay.
So when this foot's out, every step you're taking is negative feedback in there, and it's keeping you locked in that rotated pattern. So
That's
the
wild.
pelvis is rotated all the time. It's putting pressure in the lower spine, and that can actually translate all the way up. And pressure in the upper cervical spine.
Huh.
These just go haywire.
Who
All
knew?
Right. Flip over on your stomach. Oh, and you wouldn't know unless, because we're not taught this stuff in school.
Right.
How to care for our spine, which we should be.
All right.
All right. So the noise you hear when a joint gets opened up is gas being released from the capsule. Mm-hmm. It's like opening up a can of soda, that compressed gas. Same thing, most people, they'll crack their knuckles, they'll do it incorrectly. You should pull them lengthwise instead of grinding them down. Because every joint has a way it moves.
Oh, God. Wow, I could feel the tension just leave.
Lie on that side, face me. And that's the thing, we get so used to being a certain way that we just think it's normal.
All right.
Oh, it's just part of aging. No, it's poor aging. Like, you should have been getting adjusted from birth. Yeah. The best thing we can do, when's the best time to plant a tree? 100 years ago. Second best time? Today. But they go good.
Oh.
Beautiful. Other side for me.
So I can almost do that one on my own sometimes.
Yes, so the chances of you doing it correctly on your own are slim to none, right? Please leave it to the professional.
Okay.
I get a lot of parents that bringing their kids in. They're like, "Oh yeah, they do that all the time." I'm like, "Oh, please tell them to stop doing that," because there's no way they're going to do it correctly. On your back.
This is hilarious. I love it. In a serious way, this is hilarious.
So you know what? A lot of laughter and that kind of stuff. Very normal reaction.
Really?
To tension being released from the nervous system.
Really?
Yeah, it gets locked in there.
No kidding.
I mean, I've had people that cry after adjustments because if they're going through something in their life, because they're holding it in their nervous system, and when we open it up, they're like, oh, they can finally release it.
Wow, that's
So
wild.
laughter is very typical. Crying, not as much, but it happens. Let that go. Most people, you don't notice much. Initially, and then usually a handful of visits gets the needle moving.
Oh my God.
Come on up for me.
Oh God.
It's a religious experience. Come on up.
Wow.
Swing on around.
First of all, thank you very much.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you wanting to do the show, and I'm glad I had an opportunity to come in and see how you work.
Yep.
And I tell you, I'm walking out with a new lease on life. That was a real estate joke. If you didn't catch it,
I got that right. Yeah.
So just a couple things I want the people to know and investigate with you is how did you get into the business and what inspired you to become an entrepreneur?
So I started as a chiropractic client myself.
Mm-hmm.
I had just gotten out of college, was playing in a golf tournament, and hit a tee shot, had a ripping pain down my neck, into my shoulder. Like 2 holes later, I couldn't get my arm any higher than like that.
Wow.
And the golf pro was like, listen, you go see my guy. I went to him. He had like a orientation you had to sit through like an hour and a half before you even saw him. And I learned more in that thing than I had in all my years to that point about health.
Yeah.
I was like, this cleared up pretty quickly, but then I noticed my asthma cleared up.
Really?
My digestive issues cleared up. I slept better. So I was like, well, maybe there's a little bit more to this than I thought, because I had no clue what chiropractic was.
Yeah.
And most people don't.
Yeah.
They'll either think of it as, a car accident thing or, low back, neck pain kind of thing. And it's so much more than that. So I was a client for a while. I went off, did some things. And when I came back, I went to work for my chiropractor to learn the trade. Because my undergrad was accounting, so I needed to go back and take some prereqs before I could even start chiropractic school.
Yeah.
But that was it. I knew that's what I wanted to do back in 97, 98.
Yeah.
And it took me till 2003 to actually go to school.
That's awesome.
I love what I do. And it's
what do you love the most? What's the most rewarding thing?
Seeing people get their life back. Because sometimes, they can be in such a space where they barely function on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
Whether it's vertigo or, migraines or, kids with ear infections, and they're just constantly getting them, and they have the surgery scheduled for the ear tubes, and I can help them avoid that. that kind of stuff, you know, athletes, seeing them recover faster from injury so they can get back in and play in the tournament.
Yeah, good point.
That kind of stuff.
Good point.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's all day for me. Yeah.
What do you think is the biggest challenge that you've encountered as a business owner?
Having to move my practice in the middle of COVID, for sure.
Okay.
I had been in Norwood for 10 years. I built up a great client base. I was rocking. COVID hit. Everyone took a hit.
Yeah.
But I was almost 2/3 of the way back when I found out I had to move the office.
Wow.
Guy I was renting from was moving back in and getting 30 days notice. And I was like, oh boy. But we had moved, personally, we bought a house here in 19.
Yep.
So when I had to move the practice, I said, I might as well go have my practice in Medfield where I'm living.
Yeah.
Because the kids are going to be growing up here. They're going to be playing sports. I'm going to be, on the fields with them, all that. Yeah. I might as well build my business back up.
That's great.
In Medfield.
Well, and Medfield has a good, dense population. So, that's good.
No, it's a great town. I mean, we love it here. So I'm very happy I made the move. It's taken a while to start to get back. I'm still not back to where I was pre-COVID.
Sure.
But I'm almost building from scratch again, which is fine by me, because it's nice to see I'm starting to get families, and I'm referral based basically. I almost do zero marketing, which is why I wanted to do this.
Yeah, of course.
Because I'm like, I got to do something. Medfield Day, that's great, but it's like I got to get out there. Yeah. Because mostly it's word of mouth. People come to me, they love their care, and they refer others in.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you, based off of my treatment, I'll recommend everybody. If you had any advice to somebody that is looking to start their own business or kind of blaze their own trail or blaze their own path, what advice would you give them?
Biggest thing is finding your why.
Yeah.
Like why do you want to do this? Like really drill it down. Me, it's seeing kids grow up healthy, so they don't have the health struggles that I had or that I see others struggle with. Find that why, because there's going to be tough days. Yeah. There's going to be it's a grind sometimes, and as long as you can focus on that why, it'll get you through those tougher times. That's for sure the biggest thing.
That's really great advice, and you lived it sort of firsthand too, because of your own injury, and then you went through that process, and then so that's a really good that's a good point. Find your why. Well, I think I don't have any other questions. It's been the most thorough interview I've had so far. You've seen my backside. I mean, it's been
something I didn't know. You got some tats back there. I didn't know that.
Don't psychoanalyze me, whatever you do. But listen, I really appreciate it. That was great.
Hey, thanks for doing this.
Yeah, no problem.
I think this is so great for the community.
That's great.
I really do appreciate it.
I just looking to support other people that are like-minded, and hopefully we all grow together.